Buenas, half a day, everyone. Thank you for being here. Today is a really special day because we're here to recognize and honor somebody that I truly admired and I came to work with since I started as a senator last year. But I'd like to read my remarks so I don't forget anything. So it is truly an honor for me today, both as a senator and chairperson for the Committee on Women's Affairs, to present certificate number 294-38 COR, recognizing the incredible Miss Jane Therese Flores for her 7 years of dedicated leadership and service as the director of the Guam Bureau of Women's Affairs. During my time working alongside Miss Jane, I have had the opportunity to see firsthand the level of care, thoughtfulness, and integrity she brought in to this role. She led the Bureau during a period when resources were limited and expectations were very high. Yet, she never allowed these constraints to define what the Bureau could accomplish. Instead, she focused on building meaningful programs, initiatives, strengthening partnerships, and ensuring that women and marginalized members of our community were supported and empowered. Under Jane's leadership, the Bureau of Women's Affairs grew into a vital advocate and service provider on our island. The initiative she's helped establish and expand address real and pressing needs, especially, of course, for women and children, from educational opportunities for women to maternal health and wellness, to support and advocacy, most especially for survivors of violence. These were not abstract policy goals, but tangible efforts that improved lives and created pathways to dignity, safety, and opportunity. What has always stood out to me is that Ms. Jane approached this work with both professionalism and compassion. She understood that behind every program and every statistic are real people and real families. And she carried that understanding into every aspect of her leadership and her role. The foundation she helped build will continue to serve Guam long after her tenure, and her impact will be felt for years to come. Before I close out my remarks, on a personal note, I wanted to say to the people of Guam that I have enjoyed very much so my time working with Ms. Jane and as a director of women's affairs. And we've had many sit downs. And I think that from the very first time we sat down together, there was a common goal, common pathway that we wanted to pursue, common journey that we wanted to thread, and common respect towards each others. We may not be eye to eye in very few items, but we have definitely explored where we have a connection together for the most part. At least I would say 90% of the time, we agreed. But on that note, I will miss you, Miss Jane, our talks, our meetings. And I probably should not say I will miss you because I know that we have agreed that moving forward, even after you pass the baton or the crown to someone who's also very eligible, that you will remain in contact with us and you will still assist and be part of our initiative to protect women, girls, children, and most especially the victims of violence here in Guam. So on that note, on behalf of the 38 Guam legislature and the people of Guam, I extend my sincere gratitude to Ms. Jane Flores for her service. 7 years is long. Her leadership and her commitment to our community. I also congratulate her on a well-earned retirement and wish her continued fulfillment. I don't know about retirement because I heard that you've been called to serve in another aspect. And I look forward to that. So continued fulfillment in the next chapter ahead. But Miss Jane, you're not retiring because I'm still gonna bother you. Yeah? So before I actually pass the microphone to our ranking member, I'd like to recognize, of course, ranking member Tina Munya Barnes, my colleague. Thank you for being here. And of course, Senator Will Parkinson, and of course, Senator Vincent Anthony Borja. And yes, of course, the last but not the least, my mentor, one of my mentors, Speaker Frank Blas Jr. Thank you for being here, sir. And now, ranking member.
Thank you very much, Senator Calvo Primus. Um, we'd like to call Miss Jane up and thank the family for being here. Her husband's here, Mr. Flores, and her beautiful children and her in-laws. They're all here. And I just want to say that this certificate of recognition is introduced by Senator Shelly V. Calvo, is a certificate of recognition presented to Ms. Jane Therese Flores for your leadership and 7 years of service to the Guam Bureau of Women's Affairs, and to congratulate you on your retirement. The Committee on Rules of Imina 38 na Legislatura in Guam herein directs that this official expression of its recognition and congratulations be forthwith sent on behalf of Legislatura in Guahan and the people of Guam. Ladies and gentlemen, this was signed and sealed in the city of Agana on the 5th day of February 2026. It was signed by our Speaker, Speaker Frank Blas Jr., our Vice Speaker and Chairman on Committee of Rules, Vice Speaker Tony V. Anthony Atta. It was attested by our Legislative Secretary, Senator Sabrina Salas Matanani, and of course signed by the sponsor, Senator Shelly V. Calvo. And before I yield it back to the senator to do the official presentation, I just want to tell the audience here and to the listening audience at home that, Jane, you've been an incredible advocate to the people of Guam, to the women of Guam, working closely with you, not just on the Doula Project, but all the other projects, Project Sottera, and everything that literally advocates and protects and helps women. You've been the biggest advocate, and you have the heart to continue to do this. And I'm so glad that we have the opportunity to share this little recognition, but you deserve so much more for all that you do and all that you continue to do even after your retirement. So God bless you on your new journey with your family, your children. And I just want to say that your heart will always be with us. And I know that if there's ever any time that there are issues that concern women, that you will be in the forefront of that. So si Susan binidisi putorui badamu. Sanamasi.
Thank you. Thank you, Ranking Member Senator Tina Munya Barnes. Speaker?
Well, I'm going to go Auntie Jane. Okay? Let's not go there. I'm not supposed to ask how old a woman is. As it was said by everybody, you've always brought compassion. You've always brought fire to everything that you've done. In every phase that you worked at, not just at Bureau of Women's Affairs, I remember in many other places that you're going. It's sad to see you leave from this place, but we recognize that God has put other things on your plate to be able to do, and you're going to do exceptionally well. This island is small. We know where you stay. We know how to find you, and while we are going to say congratulations and thank you for all that you've done so far, there are many more to come. And I just want to say, Auntie Jane, thank you very, very much.
Senator Will Parkinson?
I just wanted to talk very briefly about what I really admire about Auntie Jane is her passion. Truly, the passion for her advocacy is so pure that I trust it completely. That you are truly a believer in the welfare of women and advocating and advancing that cause. And I'm sure whoever will replace you in that position will do a fine job, but they will never be able to live up to your earnest passion. And we don't see that very often. And so when I do, I always make a note of it. And your passion is so admirable. And so thank you for sharing that with us for so much time. And I know wherever the future takes you, you are going to take that same passion into whatever you do. And so wherever you go is very lucky to have you.
Thank you. Even before I became a senator, if there's one thing that I always knew about Ms. Jane Flores was anything about women rights or family protection or victims. I just always heard your name. And so even as a senator, I always knew when a bill or the bills that were introduced over the last year was to always just pay attention to your testimony, only because I've always known your name and tied to protection for women, protection for victims, and protection for families. And so again, we want to commend you for really the work that you've done. I mean, even before politics, 10 years ago when I wasn't even living on Guam, I knew your name because of the work that you've done. Just by reading the news. And so even as I got into politics, I always knew that your perspective was something to always consider because of the brand, I guess we can put in regards to that specialty and that work for the people of Guam. And so thank you for your service, and thank you for all that you've done for Guam, our women, and our families. Thank you.
And she is an incredible fighter, right? And an incredible ally when you fight for the cause, especially for vulnerable individuals in our community, women. So, Ms. Jane, on that note, we would like, on behalf of the 38th Guam Legislature, I would like to present you with this certificate, recognition. Ms. Jane, I'm just going to kiss you, not shake your hand. Congratulations, congratulations.
Thank you. Would you like to say a few words?
Yes. Yeah, you will have to say something.
Well, first of all, undankalu nasijus masi to all of you for this and for your support for our budget, which has grown, which I'm very grateful for that. But for your support of women and marginalized people on Guam and realizing that they do need help and that we, as public officials need to help people, and that's what our job is, and that's what I've always thought. And I just really appreciate having worked with all of you and having your support over the last 7 years. And it has meant everything, because it's allowed my office to grow, or the Bureau of Women's Affairs to grow and to start new programs, and hopefully those programs flourish even more in the next iteration of the Bureau of Women's Affairs. And I just want to thank my family, my husband, and my 3 beautiful daughters who I do everything for. I mean, you are my inspiration. So, and my boys and my little guys who are waving to the camera, and my husband Ken, who is my right arm and my biggest supporter and my biggest fan, hopefully. But thank you, and my best friend Kathleen and my sister-in-law Winnie for being here. Thank you. But thank you for what you do, supporting those of us who are in positions like mine, because without your support, we couldn't do what we do. So thank you very much.
Congratulations again, and best wishes to you, Ms. Jane. We'll take a quick photo. I forgot to recognize Tudor.